Guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and I wanted to share with you guys the pressure washer that I use for doing my details. Now, I would say, more than just a weekend warrior. I'm using this 2 to 3 times a week, and this machine right here is the SunJoe SPX 3000. I purchased this off of Amazon a little under 2 years ago, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. And this is not the first SunJoe SPX 3000 I've had. It is the third one that I've had, but I've only purchased one because this is the third one that I have had to have a replacement sent to me due to something malfunctioning within the motor, the electric motor. Because I live in Pennsylvania, it gets cold. Last winter, right about the time, February, March, where you might have a couple warm days, and I brought out I normally store my pressure washer in my basement so that way it doesn't freeze, because I do not, as you can tell, I do not have a garage to store things in. So I have to take all of my chemicals and equipment downstairs in the winter. And we had a couple days where it was warm, I was able to do details, and then we had like 1 or 2 nights where it froze. We just had kind of like a snap frost, and it created an issue with the motor, and when I would turn it on, it would just rev, nothing. And so I called SunJoe, and they helped me troubleshoot. They decided there's an issue, so they sent me out a free replacement with box and shipping label prepaid. I sent back the malfunctioning unit. They sent me a brand new one, and it has been fantastic bang for my buck. So, pros and cons of this machine. We're going to just kind of quickly go through this for some of you who might be debating, what kind of machine do you need for detailing. If you're mobile, you have to consider size. So I'm not going to get a measuring tape out, but you can see that this is a somewhat slim unit versus a gasoline pressure washer. I am a female. I can lift this easily. It is not very heavy. I'd say it's probably around 15 to 20 pounds, give or take, I'm guessing. Another thing that I really like, the connector is metal. It is sturdy. I've been able to remove it easily. Right now, my husband tightened it last time. He's like a Hulk. But you can easily see all of your connections are metal. They are sturdy. They come with the different washers. Put it on. Give me a second. I really can do this. Don't mind the cobwebs. This has actually been sitting in my closet because I actually don't use this handle anymore. I purchased a foam cannon that came with a handle that I actually prefer. That is actually one of the cons of this machine. It does have the locking mechanism that you can kind of keep it, from being pulled back or whatever. I don't really understand what that is there for. But the brass connections here. But the fact that this is just really bulky and awkward. It wasn't something that I was a fan of, especially I like to use McKee's 37 Hydro Blue CO2. It is a spray on, immediately rinse off. And when you're trying to spray and then pick this up and do it, it's precarious and awkward and sometimes can create problems. So I like something that is a shorter nub gun and I can just quickly get in there. So I did make that upgrade. You can check out that video, and I'll put the link down below to the foam cannon that came with the trigger gun, whatever that's called. But as far as, there is the chemical dilutions here. I would say this is more for if you're working on your house. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is meant for car soap as far as the dilutions. It does come with different degree nozzles that you can use. And it also has like a little shelf back here that I'll put my turbo nozzle. I use that for tires and wheels a lot. So the biggest con that I have with this is the cord. I've had this unit for about, I'd say, 7 months or so. And maybe I'm not the best at wrapping it up. But this thing gets so kinked, and it's really annoying to have to constantly take it out into the yard, twist it to unkink it. If anybody has a tip on how to keep their hoses from getting like this and being just a pain in the butt, getting wrapped up around everything, because it can get tangled. That's my biggest downfall, but that is the curse of electric pressure washers. You have to deal with cords. So let me show you guys the hose that I use and how I enjoy using the hose with the pressure washer. So let me go ahead and get that out. Alright, so this is actually a flexible hose that I purchased from Amazon, and the flexible hose actually comes with a 1-year warranty by itself. Normally, I wouldn't recommend a flexible hose. A lot of guys will say get the Flexzilla hoses for pressure washers just because it can't handle, you know, the constant use and abuse. But I've had this one for about 4 or 5 months through the summer, sitting on the porch, expanding, you know, collapsing and things like that. And it has been holding up really strong. I think the only time that the last one burst is because my kids were dragging it all over my porch and it caught a corner and it ruptured because of that. So let me show you guys. Give me 1 second to get this set up. So you can see I have my normal sprayer connected to it just because if I want to water plants and things like that. And I do have the water on. That's how I'm able to kind of pull this out, because if I didn't have the water on, the hose would reach just to the end of my carport here. And I'm snagged on something. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I was snagged back there. I had a kink. So anyways, you can see, so my hose connection is all the way through the back of my carport. And let's just see how long this hose can go. I'm actually in the middle of the street. So, for a flexible hose that by the time it's done collapsing shrinks down to shorter than my carport, it is a fantastic hose. And another thing that I really enjoy about this hose is this right here. So I have my water on. If I were to disconnect this right here, I would have water spraying everywhere, or I would have to let all the water out, then disconnect it. What I like about this is I can simply, here, I'll show you. Water's on. Twist that. Give me 1 second to unscrew it. I need 2 hands. So water is still on. I've been able to unscrew this. And now I can take this and screw it in. And again, 1 hand. I can do this. Normally it requires 2. You guys try doing this with 1 hand. But you get the picture. Give me 1 second, I'll screw this in. Alright, so that is screwed in. Go ahead and turn our water back on. And then we're going to go ahead and take the cord here. I'm going to walk out into the yard, unkink it, plug it in, and I will show you guys, you know, the different performance of it, or the pros and cons when using it. Alright, so we've gotten our cord plugged in. There's my GFI right there, and you can see as far as reach, I'm able to come all the way over here with the pressure washer, so it definitely has more than enough reach, especially in my circumstance. I can, you know, take it almost halfway to the end of my driveway, and then from there we've got the hose. So the only downfall I would say when you're using an electric pressure washer is the mass of cords. You've got to deal with your hose connection, your power connection, and then obviously your water connection. So it does take just a little bit of maneuvering. You kind of have to have it isolated, have your water source near. Let me show you guys what it sounds like when it's on. So that is a healthy turn on. When it was not working properly, it would just go and run, run, run. So when it comes to use, it's very quiet. I live in a neighborhood with quite a few elderly people, and I don't want to necessarily have a gas-powered pressure washer that if I'm working at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, or even late at night, I'm going to be keeping neighbors up. So the fact that you can still hear me while it's running, I don't have to deal with fumes, I don't have to deal with loud noises, and like I said, for the most part, it's pretty light. I'll just kind of leave it halfway and work my way around the vehicle, get around half the vehicle, come back around and work the other side. So, pros and cons for anyone that is considering the SunJoe SPX 3000. And I would say definitely consider getting the upgrade to a different trigger handle. And I would also consider adding on the turbo nozzle that SunJoe sells, or you can purchase just a generic one. And also, I really enjoy the flex hose that I purchased off of Amazon. I'll put the link down below, but that has the quick, turn on, turn off, and you're good to go. That would be a fantastic setup for a detailer. Maybe you have a home-based business, or a smaller shop where you have to deal with sounds, or maybe you don't have the space as a mobile detailer to put a gas-powered pressure washer, or maybe you also don't have the physical capability of lifting a heavy gas pressure washer. This is a great option. Sure, there are more confined or compartmentalized units out there, but for this price, if you're just beginning, this is a fantastic unit for pressure washer. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review, just kind of sharing with you my take on the SunJoe SPX 3000. I can't really compare it to other models. I haven't tried them all. This has worked for me, so I've stuck with it. When this 2-year warranty is up and it breaks, will I consider purchasing it again? Yeah, it has worked well for me. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and we will definitely see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned because I've got a lot of fun videos planned today. Thanks for watching.